You're stuck with me for a little longer this morning. And now I get to show off a super awesome game called New Ghostbusters 2. Not Ghostbusters 2, New Ghostbusters 2. So there's a whole bunch of story associated with why this game even exists, and I will get into that. It's super neat. But one of the best parts about this game is that we get to choose which Ghostbuster we get to play as. And other games let you play as different Ghostbusters, but this is the only one where you get to play the whole game as whoever you want. So actually, we are going to play as probably the two that get the least love in the other video games. So we're going to play as Winston. And this game lets you play as Louis Tully. So we're going to play as Louis. Louis is going to hang around, and he's going to help me out, and he's going to help us save the world. So the timer gets started when I select Louis. So in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, now we go down the fire pole, and this is where the game starts. So the basic idea behind this game is that we play as these very adorable Ghostbusters. Like, the adorableness of these versions of the Ghostbusters is just way too much. Oh, there we go. We try to catch those in that way because if you catch one and then the other, the second one will like break into a ton of little ghosts, and that's really slow to do that. So we try to catch them both when they're big. But the idea behind the game is basically it's a room clearing game where you catch ghosts. The character that you controls the ooh. Okay, that has literally never happened. I've never gotten hit by that particular slime enemy. That's okay. We have if that's the death that sinks this run, a lot more things will have had to go off the rails for that to be the problem. So I think we'll just be fine. So we're gonna go here. There's a Slimer. There's another Slimer. Oh dear! He just threw a piece of chicken at me. Like, what is this? Like Slimer would like eat chicken. Like, why would he throw any food? I've seen him, like, he'll throw coat hangers and hammers. The hammers seem especially rude to me, personally. But what are you going to do? Oh, that guy was a little too far. One of the cool things about this is so I control Winston's movement. Louis is following behind me, basically, with a trap, and he catches the ghosts after I put them in the capture beam. But Louis is controlled by the AI, and the AI in this game is real dumb. So every now and again, I get a little frustrated with the AI. All right, and that was the Scoleri brothers. If you're familiar with Ghostbusters 2, you'll know that that's the scene in the courtroom, and you know that's oh my goodness, just that guy really went after me. That almost never happens where he's right on top of you like that. It's all right. We should be getting a 1-up here real soon. So every time you get hit, you lose a life. So you don't want to get hit ever if you can help it. But we'll be all right. So as I was saying about Louis, you know, he follows behind. But one of the cool things is that he can actually deploy the trap through walls. I don't know why that is. It just works. I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to go down here because we need this guy. For some reason, that guy in the minecart doesn't spawn unless you go up a little bit. So we do that. Oh, we're going to grab that extra money. Things have been a little rough already. So we're going to grab some extra money. The money is the only thing it does is give you points, and the value in points are that the more points you have, the more likely you are to get a 1-up. And oh, the minecarts are 100% the worst enemies in the game. They will hit you and they will kill you, and they move so fast. So let's try to not get hit again. Oh boy. This guy went all the way down here. Where is he at? Okay. Luckily, the guys in the minecarts you don't actually need to catch. You just need to hit them and knock them out of the minecart, and they will automatically despawn. So thank goodness for that, because running them down can be a hassle. Oh boy. All right. So I haven't mentioned yet, the music in this game is phenomenal. If you're a big Ghostbusters fan, like I am, I was a huge Ghostbusters kid. Like one of my favorite movies, both of the movies. Huge fan. This song is actually is an 8-bit version of Flip City, which plays in the movie. So now we get the ghost train, and we go through our first car here. We're going to take this a little cautious. Normally, we would literally just turn into those guys, into these ghosties here, and we'd sort of, run the risk that we might get hit. But we've taken a couple more hits than we'd really like to. So, and that's a Conductor Slimer. He's out. And that is the second stage. Now we get, this is probably the second longest stage in the game here, coming up here. This is the apartment buildings. This is, oh, we got that slime. Cool. This is supposed to be Peter's apartment, where little baby Oscar gets kidnapped by Janosch's ghost thing. The plot in Ghostbusters 2 didn't make a ton of sense, so, we're just gonna kind of let that be. But that's also the reason why all the ghosties in this level are pink. They're supposed to be the pink mood slime from the movie that turns into a bathtub and tries to kill Dana and all that silly stuff. But ooh, okay, wow, that was super scary. So the worst enemy far and away in this game are these little ninjas that spawn and will just run right at you. And that particular ninja spawned and was right on top of me, and we were lucky to be able to get out of there without taking any damage. This is a little mini boss sequence that's hardly even a mini boss. Let's be real here. We just walked over to him and smoked him. No problem. All right, good. Whew. Those ninjas terrify me. You have no idea how scary I find them. Like I was saying, there's this game basically exists because so there were multiple Ghostbusters 2 games released. Okay, Lewis. That's something that can happen with the AI. The game really does not want me to talk about its history, apparently. It keeps finding new and interesting ways to prevent that, which is, unfortunate. But that's all right. Yeah, so again, the Lewis AI is not especially great. Or really, your partner AI is never especially good, so we have to be aware of that as we play, that sometimes they get confused. These ninjas aren't too bad. They just throw throwing stars, so you don't have to worry about them running into you. So, all right, we're going to try this one more time at least, and we're going to try to talk about the history of this game. So, in the United States, Activision had the rights to the Ghostbusters series for the NES. So they released Ghostbusters 2 on the Nintendo. That was a game that I owned as a kid. I loved that game as a kid. And it's not a good game, but I still loved it. And so in other territories, which is to say PAL in Japan, they got this game, this vastly superior game made by HAL. And that's the reason why you get this, just painfully cute Ghostbuster versions. I just love them so much. These are some of the best looking Ghostbusters sprites, I think, in the video games. It's very clear who everybody is. It just looks really good. There we go. Oh, you know what? We're gonna grab that money too, Lewis. Let's go. Cool. That's another one up. And so, like I said, Activision had the U.S. rights, and they made a. I thought I'd put him in the trap, but that other ghost had run at me. I had to move, so it's all right. We're still okay. We get 3 continues to beat the game, and if we end up needing all 3 continues, well, it will have been a pretty rough Come on. There we go. It will have been a pretty rough run for sure if we end up needing... We might need one, because we've been a little unlucky here so far. But let's hope we don't need more than that. So we're going to go over here, grab that ghosty. Yeah, this is the only stage that doesn't have an actual boss. This is... Oh boy. I didn't like where this guy spawned here. He was, Oh god, you were chasing me! Leave me alone! These ghosts here are supposed to be like some kind of I think some sort of poltergeist, but they remind me, if anybody's familiar with the real Ghostbusters TV show from, you know, many years ago, you might remember a Halloween ghost by the name of Sam Hain, and that's what I think of when I see these particular sprites. I think that these ghosts look a lot like the Sam Hain character. And we should be coming up here on the end of this stage here. There's no actual boss in this stage. We just kind of get to walk up here and see this cutscene where Oscar's on the ledge and Dana's flipping out. And Janosch Ghost comes up and grabs her, and grabs Oscar. So we're doing okay. So here's another awesome chiptune version of a song. So Bobby Brown did the music to Ghostbusters 2. Was actually a late addition to the movies project. They brought him on very late in the whole thing, and he was a big Ghostbusters fan at the time, and you know, wanted to do it. They actually shot an extra scene, the bellhop scene where Egon tells him that Proton Pack is not a toy. That's apparently him. So but he did all the music. So this is We're Back from the movie. This song is just 8 bits of a pretty decent you know, movie theme song, I guess. But this is the River of Slime. Most of these stages, actually, which is kind of super neat to me, is these show up in both games in very different ways. Both this and the Activision version. In the Activision version of this game, it's a side scroller, and it's for one, it's way less cute. Like, I think we can all agree on that. I mean, these sprites are like the best. Like they're just phenomenal sprites of the Ghostbusters. Especially Lewis. Like, I love Lewis's... Like, when Lewis is standing against something that's monocolored, you can see his hair is just, like, spiky and a mess. And I think that's hilarious. So this room sucks, because that can happen where it will randomly spawn an enemy right on top of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just going to take damage. So, have fun. Not the end of the world. We've been able to pick up a couple of 1-ups along the way. We're probably getting pretty close to running out of them, though. The game gives you a 1-up at 10,000, then I think then at 30,000. So like it takes more points to get a 1-up every time. So we got to be aware that we're probably running low here on our opportunities for 1-ups. That might be a game over. Oh, cool. It was not. You see, he's like, that looked like what was that? Like, I think I saw a hammer. I saw a broom. Like, Slimers that throw stuff, they just throw anything. It's totally silly. All right, there was a hanger. Like, what? Where does he get this stuff? Come on, Lewis. There we go, buddy. When the AI gets confused, it'll just run right around the outside of whatever room you're in, which can be super frustrating. Oh, there was a bottle. There we go. Like, most of these ghosts obviously don't show up in the movie. Slimer obviously does, but there's only one Slimer. But, we don't worry about it. So this stage actually does a really neat thing with the slime, where when you move in the direction that the slime is traveling, it gives you a speed boost. So we try to use that as much as we can. It's a little tough. Ooh, boy, that was close. So this boss is a little tough because there are 3 to 4 of them that will pop out at any given time. And we have to hold the capture beam on them to try to not let them, to basically break them down. So at the moment, I'm trying really hard to avoid them. When they face upwards or downwards, they can only shoot in one direction. But when they face side to side, they can aim like diagonally. So it gets way harder to avoid them there. But luckily, you're able to sneak out of there. Round clear. Okay, we are in the last real stage of the game here. Oops, missed him. We'll just get him on there. We'll just get that ghost here. This is the museum. This is where the movie ends. This is where the game will end in a little bit here. Here's another one of those pink ghosts. We're gonna... Oh. You know what? I'll show you what happens, because it's pretty neat. So if you don't catch them the way I did in the first stage, they do this, where they create a whole bunch of these little tiny ghosts that are both hard to catch and can hit you. So that's why we try to catch them the way that we do, where we stun lock them, basically. It's a really effective way to deal with a pretty unfortunate enemy. But yeah, this game is almost exclusively just about like clearing rooms full of ghosts. Whew, almost didn't turn the direction I needed to turn there. Had to run away. We're low enough on health that I'm a little concerned, because there are these rooms. You have to go in these rooms that have these ninjas, and I'll tell you, sometimes you walk into a room with a ninja and you don't walk back out. Like, that's... I feel like that's valuable knowledge. If I impart nothing of value to anybody watching this morning, I hope that you know that sometimes if you walk into a room with a ninja, you might not walk back out. It's a dangerous position to be in. That's all I'm trying to say. Ninjas are scary. These ghosts are not. They're pretty plain. Their hitboxes are hard to deal with, though, so we have to kind of move specifically to deal with them. Like, look at that. He threw a rock. Where did he get a rock? This is a museum. I guess there might be rocks in a museum. That would make sense, actually. We're gonna catch that ghost. So going through and clearing rooms, most of the optimization for this is about trying to find good pathing as best you can that manipulates both enemy spawns and your AI companion, because your AI companion can be worse than the ghosts most of the time. I think he got lost once already in this run, but there are a few other places, especially this stage is especially good. Yeah, so like he could hit this ghost with a trap, but he won't do it. So we have to wait and get him a little bit closer before Lewis will hit him with the capture. It's you just got to be pretty on your movement. But that's okay. It's still a lot of fun. I don't think that this is an especially difficult game, but it is a lot of fun. Like the music is really good. I don't think it's especially difficult to beat, like, casually. It gives you 3 continues. You might need to play it once or twice, but you can definitely beat it. The optimization for it, though, gets pretty legit. To try to do it quickly, like trying to find the best way to... Like there, if Lewis had done things the way I'd hoped he would have, we would have caught that wall slime and then the running ghost too real quick. But Lewis didn't do what I wanted him to, so that's okay. So coming up is probably like this room has ended so many of my runs because these ninjas just the worst. Like terrible spawns. Like sometimes they just don't like those ninjas. They don't want to be caught, and they also don't want to hit you either. It's like why are you even here? You're supposed to want to take me out. You're a ghost, and I'm a Ghostbuster. We're natural enemies. That was using some of the fact that walls are a suggestion to the to Lewis with the trap there. We don't worry about those. We have to go up here. Unfortunately, as far as I know, nobody's found a way to manipulate these spawns in such a way so that you don't have to backtrack as much. This stage has a lot of backtracking, is what I'm getting at. And unfortunately, you end up in this situation where you're running back and forth. Ooh, I need to move over here because those slimes can spawn on top of me. Oh, good. Got another one up. This has actually been a pretty clean museum stage. It hasn't been super fast per se because we've gotten some unfortunate spawns with the... Oh, there we go, Lewis. There he goes. Yeah, see how he got lost and he just followed the edge of the room? The pathing... it's a smart idea when you think about it, is that if you have this AI that you can't really trust... and it can get lost. I mean, if you're ever in somewhere and you can't see, just put your right hand on the wall and just follow it, and eventually you'll get back out. As long as if you got in, you can get back out. You'll eventually just walk around the outer shell of wherever you are. So that's basically what they programmed the AI to do. So that's cool. Here is Yano. She's the second to last boss, and here I have to remember how to count to 10. I don't believe there are trolls with maces in the movie, unfortunately, which would be pretty awesome. So there's 1. There's 2. So we have to do this 10 times. This is going to be 3 here. There's 3. You can get into a pretty good rhythm with this. But I often forget what number I'm on. So that's 4, I think. Uh-oh. Did I forget how to count again? It's 5. This boss is actually a lot harder than I'm making him look. You can manipulate where he shoots his eye lasers. I think that was 6. And so, like, I move in a set pattern that basically means that I won't ever get hit. But if you're playing this casually and you don't know that, trying to dodge those while also... Yep, that was the last one. Now we catch that Janosch. Now the last one. And now he just falls over. And that's real Janosch. And he just falls over and he's covered in slime. And it's, like, super cute. All right, this is the last boss coming up here. Time is when I lose control of the busters at the end of the fight. So I'll be moving around on the right side. Now I'll call it out, but it's coming up here. It should be in about minute and a half or so, just as a warning, because this boss is legitimately difficult. Vigo is a bit of a jerk. So we just stand here and we shoot him in a mildly uncomfortable location, and we just basically have to shoot him as much as we can, as long as we can. The longer you can keep the shot on him, the better. You actually do a lot of damage. That one actually worked out pretty well. What I'm doing is eventually the beam will stop shooting. So I'm turning it off and turning it back on at specific times to give myself the maximum amount of coverage on this boss in terms of being able to do damage to him. And that's the boss. He's out. We've wiped him out, and time is there. And that is New Ghostbusters 2, where we get to see this little staff credits roll, which is pretty cute. Vigo running from the Statue of Liberty and everything. I just want to say thank you to everyone at Power Up with Pride for letting me run these two absolutely goofy games. I really love both of them, and I really appreciate the opportunity to show them off. Thank you for having me. I love this marathon. It's one of my favorites to get to participate in, so I really appreciate it. And thank you again. Thank you for watching, everybody. Donate. It's a fantastic cause for the Trevor Project. So that's all from me. Keep watching, and hopefully everybody enjoyed some 80s nostalgia.
And thank you for running. Those two runs are absolutely fantastic. James Bond and Ghostbusters 2 by Mad Mega.